Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurv here, LanceScurvX.com, the Scurv podcast. Now, today, the title of this particular video subject may shock you a little bit because you're saying, like, Lance, what are you talking about? What good can come out of a conversation like this? And I know most people would think that, but this was an article, actually, that I found on Facebook. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Bear with me, with this one. Luca John Benjamin. Luca is spelled L-U-K-A, right? John Benjamin. He's on Facebook. He writes a lot of compelling pieces, and he dares to go where most people don't want to go. And he digs into relationships. Me, I'm a human nature guy. And I saw this and I said, okay, there is some truth here. And I sent this to certain people that I know that are intelligent, decent, and they agreed with me that there are some points here that need to be acknowledged. Now, we know that the title or the topic of side chicks, it gets emotions rising out of a lot of married women, and as it should. I understand that. Who wants to know that their husband is messing around with another woman? And I said husband, because this is about marriage. This is not just boyfriend, girlfriend stuff, although certain things can apply because we have common law marriages or relationships or long-term committed relationships. But I'm going to stress the whole marriage end of things. And as I read it, I became intrigued. And I said, let me find out what many other people think and if there's any truth to this, right? And there's a lot that a lot of married women can take from this when they feel that there's an interest that's not there from their husband, right? I'm not going to say it's their fault, okay? I'm not just blaming the wife for everything, right? But there's a truth here. We have to find a balance. So I'm just explaining that. This is an article, something I read that I want to share. Right. And there will be other articles that are written that I run across that I'd like to just share with you in the comments section. Let's discuss it. Now, let me read off some of the points. And I just have to say I'm waiting for somebody to arrive. So I may have to cut this and come back. Hopefully I can get this done, but I don't want to rush it. And I'm looking down at my phone for the text because I shut off the notifications because I get a lot that would interrupt me right now. So let's see how much we can get done. Okay, let's see. Wives give stability. Side chicks give excitement. Guess who he runs to? I'm going to say it again. Wives give stability. Side chicks give excitement. Guess who he runs to? Why side chicks are winning over wives? And excuse me, I just got up the shower a little while ago, so my pores are still open. I'm still pouring down sweat, right? Men, let's cut the lies. Every day, more men are drawn to side chicks while their wives are losing ground. It's not because men don't value marriage. It's because wives stop doing the very things that won them the ring in the first place. Brutal reality incoming. Okay. Point number 1. Side chicks stay feminine. While many wives trade lingerie for old t-shirts, side chicks never forget the power of seduction. Well, that's a stronghold for them because the seduction is a strong thing. And I'm going to make some other points that I've read that I can finish up with this particular point about seduction, but I'm not going to linger on it. Number 2, side chicks don't nag. She gives peace, laughs at his jokes, listens to his problems, while the wife turns every conversation into an argument. Now, I will acknowledge that the side chick, she's going to give peace and laugh at his jokes and listen to his problems because usually the side chicks are benefiting financially, and she knows this. So she's going to tolerate a whole lot because she doesn't have to be around him all the time. She's not around him 24/7. So the little time that they spend, she can present herself as being perfect. So I'm not putting side chicks over the wife because the wife has to take care of the kids also, usually the house and different things that the husband may not do or may not acknowledge. And so she's got a lot on her mind, because I've seen married women, you know, they complain about the possibility of their man going outside the marriage, and they would say, well, you know, it's hard running the household. We're married now. This is a whole different ball game. So where do we fall on this scale? You know, does the wife have the right to just completely lose the attention for excitement and seduction and being alluring and, you know, amping him up a little bit? She's washing his dirty underwear, so her mindset may not be the same as the side chick that doesn't have to deal with certain things. You see what I mean? Number 3, side chicks respect his time. She values every hour she gets, makes it exciting, while the wife takes his presence for granted. Now, this is not always the case. See, I'm not going to run with this like it's law, so I have to give credit where credit is due. Again, the wife has a lot of things to do, right? But she has to make effort for the husband, even if they're running the household, paying the bills, working a lot of hours. Shift and have an hour where you can become that woman. I'm talking to the wife now. Take 1 hour, and it doesn't mean you have to be a sex kitten. And I'm going to group a few comments so I can get to the end of this and just free flow from my point of view from what I've read here. But I find that to be true. That's the perception lots of times. The side chick will respect his time because she doesn't have much time with him. So she values every hour he gets. Does she really? She's going to be getting some benefit out of this. She's not a side chick just to say, I'm just going to be with you on the side. He's got to be paying her bills or some of her bills. There's got to be some kind of financial benefit or some kind of hookup where she's getting something out of the deal. So what do you think? It's a transaction, right? Is a side chick thing really about love? I don't know. I've seen a lot of situations like this where the side chick claimed that she loved the man, but then in certain situations that man divorced his wife and went with the side chick, and it was the same situation. The grass looked greener. You know what I mean? So each one of these depends on the situation of what you've been through, and a lot of men will agree, but they won't consider the wife's side also, because I know some husbands who trash their wives behind their back, but would they want to see that wife leave? She's an anchor, and something attracted you to her, right? Number 4, side chicks play their role. She doesn't demand the world, she provides escape. The wife piles on endless expectations and bills. Well, the side chick, again, she's around you for a limited amount of time, so she's gonna, not gonna demand the world, and she's gonna give you escape, because that's the game. That's the game of the side chick. I'm not demonizing the side chick. I'm neutral on this. I want to hear, and many of you are not going to admit to at one time being the side chick. You will admit to being a wife, but just write it in the comment section as though it's a friend of yours. Like, I had a friend who was a side chick, where you might have been that side chick. Of course, you want to protect their identities and stuff like that. But this is important to talk about, right? Number 5, side chicks are adventurous. New places, new styles, new energy. Meanwhile, the wife keeps recycling the same routines until boredom kills desire. Not all wives do this. Again, a good wife is going to take care of a lot of things, and the focus has been expanded beyond dating, courting, engagement, and now we're in marriage. You have kids. You're cleaning up here and there. You got your own work to do. You got a career maybe also. Like we said with side chicks, are adventurous. Of course they're going to be. They don't have the responsibility of cleaning and cooking and dealing with the kids, getting up early in the morning, taking them, and I know that there are good men who split the responsibilities, okay? For those men who don't split the responsibilities of being in the home with the wife, but you're saying this about your wife, you're wrong, because now you put all of the weight on her, and you're blaming her for losing the feeling or not being adventurous. and just the same old routine. Look, somebody's got to do it. If you can do it together, again, set time aside to be that, okay? And again, I'm going to come with my own stuff at the end of this. Number 6, side chicks admire, wives criticize. Now, we know that this is not all written in stone. I'm glad that if you're coming in at this point of this show, this is from an article written. So this is not written in stone. But again, side chicks admire, wives criticize. The wife sees flaws and complains. The side chick amplifies strengths and make him feel like a king. Well, again, the side chick, that's her job, right? She's usually getting something from him. So she's going to make him feel that way to keep him coming back. She's not going to nag him too. She's going to be that oasis emotionally. She's going to be that escape. She's going to put herself up for that. And it could be like a drug. So yes, maybe what's going on at home from the man's perception is fueling his perceived need. I said perceived need to deal with this woman. And it may not be every woman he was looking for, this side chick, whatever, but there's some women who could sense that there's something lacking in your life and they want to, because of their own profit or their own need, because we have a lot of nurturing women out here, and the very nature of a woman is to nurture, right? It may not be in a pristine situation, but it's that thing, oh, you're hurting, oh, your wife, she's not treating you right, whatever. And that nurturing thing could be used in his favor against her, who's a side chick who may be looking for something real or reward at the end of their marriage. Because there are a lot of disappointed side chicks out here who do get a little emotional and, get caught up. And they get bypassed, and he goes off with somebody else because she realizes that he used her. There's so many ways we can go this. This is not a one-size-fits-all thing, and I'm really looking forward to hearing from you in the comments section. All right? Let me make sure I can see this phone. Every now and then it shuts off because I keep it that way. So I gotta open up the code again because I'm looking for a text to come through, and I won't hear it because I have it all cut off. Okay, there it is. So every now and then I have to touch this phone as much as I'm touching my face with this sweat. Number 7, side chicks look the part. She invests in her looks, scent, and vibe. Too many wives let themselves go after marriage, forgetting men are visual. Now, you have children, you're the wife, oftentimes you put on weight. You're not running around as much as when you were single. I'm not saying running around, living some wayward life, but you're more sideways and diverse and doing things. When you marry, you settle down, and you have children, sometimes you put on weight. With responsibilities, it's hard to get to a gym. It's hard to exercise. Sometimes you eat a little different stuff. You put on weight. We all put on weight as we get older sometimes, right? Now, if a man is for you and married to you because he wants you to be this specifically perfect specimen physically, then something's wrong too, because he's got to have a little leeway if he loves you for you, right? So I'm not going to go with that. But at the same time, like we said here, side chicks look the part. She invests in her looks, scent, and vibe. Even if you are a married woman who put on a little weight, well, I'm going to tell you something. Men are visual, right? Men are not going to have sex 24/7, but men like to be visually titillated in their home with their wives. He's not going to not look at you. I don't care if you put on 30, 40, 50 pounds. If you wear something really short, depending on what he likes, if he's a leg and butt man and you walk around a certain way, it might even be a t-shirt, and you bend over a little bit, whatever, and you're not doing it obvious, but he's sitting on the couch and you're doing something in the kitchen or whatever room is next to it, and he's like, oh man, he's looking. He feels your presence that way. He sees you womanly. And this is a thing that a lot of women don't understand, that a lot of side chicks and or other women understand with a man, is that your femininity is comforting to him. You see, you being feminine, like when you want to bring up a point about something that you didn't like that he did, maybe he took out too much money for something foolish, or he said something that embarrassed you, don't come at him with the masculine energy. You're gonna be angry, but you have to address it a certain way. Not that you have to be scared of talking to him, but you have to address it a certain way. And that takes away from that totally feminine thing. It doesn't mean you're soft, it doesn't mean you're weak, right? But the visuals at home, women are conscious. Well, I put on so much. Don't worry about that. Because there are a lot of big women out here, I'm gonna say big women that are sexy as heck, all right? Because it's their confidence in themselves. And they don't worry about, they want to keep themselves nice, but if you still present yourself a certain way and you're confident and you have that life force energy, that's a turn on, and a lot of women don't know that. And mind you, I said life force. Sexual energy is a subset of life force. You can't be sexy if you don't have life force. Now, if you're tired and you're worn down, it's hard to exude this life force. Where you can't have total power on a drained battery. I understand that. Try to keep your life force up. And it's easier to exude that sexy energy, that sexual energy, that life force, because you're beaming, you have life in your eyes. When somebody's talking to you and you have a lot of life force and they look in your eye and you see so much life, that is a precursor to the sexiness. And again, you can have women who don't have the physical dimensions of some supermodel and they are very sexy. It's their energy. And that's what a lot of married women have got to understand. I had to stick that in there, right? Because it's not just a side chick thing, right? Number 8, side chicks give freedom. She doesn't chain him down with "where are you?" calls every hour. She lets him breathe and he keeps coming back. Well, that's part of the role of being that side chick, because she knows that if she starts to stress him and be on him like that, then that's kind of a turnoff. But then again, the wives have the right to know where you are and what you're doing. So I would suggest to the men, check it. Let her know. Give her that confidence. If you're going out somewhere, you're doing something. It's like me when I was in Orlando, right? When I would finish driving the bus, I'm going to touch the screen again so it doesn't blank out. When I was driving the bus, afterward, on my day before my 3 days off, because I was working 4 days extra hours to make up for the whole 40. I had 3 days off because I had seniority. So directly afterward, and I was working late, I would go downtown. If many of you remember or know the platform for that long with that channel that was taken down, I would go downtown, downtown Orlando, and interview people and just talk to people, men and women, about different topics and ask them different things. Those were the fun days. We lost that content, but I will say that channel is still alive on YouTube servers. I discovered that. And I may do a little short 5-minute show on that to show how diabolical YouTube can be. That stuff is still there. But I'd let her know, listen, even before, that was part of my routine and not always. And she would say, well, listen, just make sure you're safe. Call after a while, because this would be 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And the clubs are open and the excitement is there. And I used to share a lot of that. And we used to have fun doing that with certain topics, especially if it was a topic that we were going to tackle that weekend on the Blog Talk radio show that we did. So I would get videos for that to bring people to it. So I was very active that way, and she knew me that way. She met me that way, doing stuff in cyberspace. So I always talk with a lot of people calling me, male and female. But you have to let them know where you stand. You have to let a woman know where you are, what you're doing. You just can't disappear. She's not nagging, and she has a right to say that. So the side chicks, they also, when they get attached to you to a point, it all depends on how much they allow themselves to get attached to you. Because if you're just somebody who's paying the bills or paying her bills or some of her bills or giving her some type of monetary gain, she doesn't really care about you, but she's going to act that way. And it's not an act that has to remain 24/7, because she's only going to see you for a short period of time. But she understands the psychology. And that's why I'm reading this off, because I want more wives to understand the psychology of the side chick so they can incorporate these things. Not that you have to be a side. Look, I'll say it this way. Yes, a wife also has to be that side chick. Maybe that's controversial. And I'm not saying you have to be that. You're a wife and you're to be honored as a wife, but you need to not let someone else one-up you and use little things that you may not be doing against you, right? And again, the things you may not be doing may not be your fault because of the workload of being a wife and running the household. But still, you need to know these things. That way you won't get caught out there. Okay, here. Number 9, side chicks know their value. They don't beg, they seduce. They don't fight, they finesse. Wives get comfortable, side chicks get strategic. True. Wives oftentimes, from what I've seen, I got him already. He's mine, I got him already. You know, the side chicks know that they can be replaced also. So they're going to be on their A game all the time, and they don't have to be that 24/7 because they're not married to this man. So she can present herself as though she's perfection and glow and all of this, and it's just for a time. So this is what she has over the wife, where the husband sees the wife 24/7 when she's up and when she's down. The wife does not have to be that side chick 24/7, but show it on a regular basis. And the husband will understand, like, listen, this is what it is. Most men know, but they want to feel free with you as a wife. And that's what got them to marry you pretty much in the first place. But sometimes, again, wives get complacent. And this just leaves an opening for somebody else to slip on in. This is real talk, y'all, you know? And I'm going to tell you some funny stories also. Okay, number 10, side chicks feed his ego. Every man wants to feel desired, respected, and celebrated. Side chicks know this game by heart. Wives forget it after their vows. Again, every man wants to be desired, respected, and celebrated. You know, as a father, I'll say, and the children have nothing to do with the side chick, but I'm just going to say, like, with this statement here, desired, respected, and celebrated. Most fathers know when they come home and their children run to the door, Daddy! And they hug them. That celebrate, ooh, that feels so good. I don't care what you do for a living. You could be a multi-billionaire CEO of a company, and you can be a maintenance man in a local hood school. The feeling's the same. Not that the maintenance man in the local hood school is any less. No, our feelings are the same. We're all men, and we all crave and desire certain things. So that, you know, us wanting to feel desired, respected, and celebrated. I don't care what level in life you're on. That goes a long way. That makes us feel so good. If there's an issue, a dispute, or something that you're angry about, you can handle it in a certain way. It doesn't have to be where you're coming with this. The masculine energy is an extreme turnoff. You can be angry, and you may not be masculine, but the energy in which you approach this man, you can speak to him in a softer voice and say, listen, I'm very upset. I'm very angry about what just happened, and we need to address this. Don't go silent on him. Don't, give him some funny treatment. Settle it. If it takes an hour, if it takes 2 hours of talking and discussing, and like I like to say the term, going in with surgical precision, settle it. Once it's settled, go back to being the person that you are. A hug, a kiss, love making, if you want to, or just being feminine, right? I'm going to say some funny things. We're adults here. We're speaking about human nature, right? Now, here's what he says in the article about final warning. Men don't leave marriages because they hate commitment. They leave because they hate being drained. Side chicks win because they give men what wives stop giving: peace, admiration, and desire. A smart wife stays a side chick to her husband forever or risks losing him. That's a dope statement. A smart wife stays a side chick to her husband forever or risk losing him. That's deep. What do you think about that? And I'm asking the ladies, what do you think about that? A smart wife stays a side chick to her husband forever. In America, we'll call it ride or die. That woman has your back. But as a man, you have to earn that. right? And when I say side chick, I don't mean you're running around with all these women. I'm not condoning it, but if you happen to be involved with one, there are reasons for it, and wives got to understand that, even though it's a painful revelation, right? And it shouldn't go that far, but these things happen. It's been happening from the biblical days and even before in society, but it's hush hush, and it's looked at in such a bad way, where it could be looked at in a bad way. But why is this happening? Why has it gotten to this point, right? There's certain things a man needs to do as far as his understanding of his wife, but there's certain things that the wife can't take for granted, right? I remember seeing a video tape. I wish I found it. A video on, what was it? Was it not TikTok? I think it's TikTok or X. And it was a Nigerian woman, and maybe it had a lot of hits, so I know many of you may have seen it. I don't know, I'm stuttering this morning. And she was saying the very same thing. She is a side chick, and the man helps her out financially, but she makes sure to give him a fantasy, which, again, I acknowledge that a wife may not be able to do this 24/7, right? But a little bit of time. Save a little bit of your energy for that. And she was saying, you know, I greet him. I bring him something to drink, or his favorite drink. You know, I ask him how his day was. When he gets to the door, I untie his shoes and she says, I untie his shoes and take his shoes off, right? She says, while I'm down there on my knees in front of him, I give him a kiss. And you know what that means. She's not kissing up here, she's kissing down there. Like, okay. And right at that moment, it's all about him when he comes home. And a lot of wives are going to say, well, what about me? I'm doing all this stuff. Yes, you should be getting that. And I will speak on that on another video, or maybe the next video. Even though it's his article and he's speaking about side chicks, there are things that wives need also. So I'm not ignoring that. Please don't think I'm just making it about the man and you have to do this because you haven't been doing this and this is why he has a side chick. No, I'm not saying it that way. The article piqued my interest, and I think that we can extract something good out of it and also have a good conversation, because again, it's not always like this, right? In different situations, you know, and I'm looking down at my phone just to make sure that this gentleman who's coming over soon, he'll be at the front gate. So my ring is off. So I would usually say, call me, but I'm doing a video and trying to catch up from what I didn't do last night. But culturally, things are looked at a certain way. They could be looked at in a different way. Side chicks are in America. Side chicks are here in Africa. Side chicks are in Europe. Side chicks are everywhere. One side chick title doesn't fit all from what I'm seeing, right? So it's not like we're the how can I say, we're the Legion of Side Chicks and we have membership fees and rules and regulations. You have side chicks that are crazy. Side chicks who have power trips, side chicks who are stalkers, side chicks that get upset that you're going home to a wife and you're celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's with her, and she's sitting there mad. Look at him. He's enjoying his family. I want that for myself, and will do what she can to mess up the marriage. That's not the kind of side chick we're talking about here. That's a psycho side chick, right? But one thing that I found very surprising here in Ghana, I'm not saying it's everybody in Ghana, but how people, and women especially, have accepted this thing called side chick, even if they don't call it that. Now, how do I say that from personal experience? Well, we all know Mr. Scurv travels back and forth more than I do. I have not left Ghana since I touched down here September 16th, 2020. I have not been back to any country since then. And they know when she's not around because they'll see me by myself. They, oh, how's your wife? Whatever. Oh, she's traveling. Oh, okay. Will she be gone for a while? They ask too many questions, right? But they'll say, well, oh, you're by yourself. This particular story I'm going to tell you is from a pastor who, when she would see me and Mrs. Scurv, lots of times, she'd greet us, happy, And one time I saw her, and she was like, oh, the sanctity of marriage is so wonderful, and I love to see you two together, and I see your videos that you're doing stuff together, and I think it's a beautiful thing, and you have to work hard in this world to keep your marriage together, blah, 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 blah. This same woman who's a pastor asked me, she said, oh, your wife is gone. You must be lonely in that big house by yourself. Do you have anybody? And I'm like, what do you mean? Right? This was somebody in the street. I'm thinking I would know what they meant. But the pastor who's big up, doing the big ups for marriage, do you have anybody? I said, what do you mean? I have my wife. No, but she's not here right now. I said, I know she's not here, but I still have her. She's my wife. No, but you're a man. You need someone. You have to have someone. You need to get someone. I said, get someone for what? I said, I cook, I clean, I wash, I maintain. There's a lot of work going on in the house, but I don't understand. You need a woman. Come on now. You don't want to make me say it, but you must be stressed because you don't have a woman to release. I was like, now I knew what she meant, but I was shocked that a pastor would say this, right? And I talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people don't get on the camera. I keep my cameras with me, keep my audio with me, recorders and stuff, but it's a very conservative country, so people usually don't come out and say. The younger folks will, but a lot of the older folks, they're not going to say certain things that they would say face to face with no recording going on. But I spoke to this woman one time. She walked up to me. She's like, I see you on the videos all the time. So we started talking, and we got on that subject about having multiple wives, which a lot of Muslims here, and it's the law. You can have up to five. You can have up to 5 wives, because I found that out when I filled out the resident form, which now I have my citizenship. But when I had the residency form, I had to fill out every year, every 2 years. They say, put your wife's name, and there were 4 other lines. So I'm like, went to the guy, I didn't want to mess up. I said, am I missing something by not filling these lines out? What are these extra lines for? I said, nobody's name could be that long. So he said, oh, no. How many wives do you have? How many wives? I got one more. What do you mean? You know what I mean? He said, oh, he explained it to me, right? And from what I gather, correct me if I'm wrong, you have the wife that you legally married, and you have the other ones that you have a ceremony with, although they're looked at as your wife or whatever. So this lady who proclaimed to be a Christian was telling me that, she told me, she says, yeah, I don't believe in men cheating. I don't believe in married men going out there with other women, but it's going to happen. So I said, well, how do you feel about it? She says, well, I can't stop it. So if my husband's doing that to me, he better not let me find out, but I'm not looking. I said, well, to go a little deeper, and I don't know you personally, I don't know your husband. How do you personally feel about your husband? Like, do you think he's capable of doing that? He said, of course he's capable of doing that. I said, why? Because he's a man, or just that you're saying this personally from experience? She says, no, I'm saying this from experience. He loves women. And I told him, I better not catch you doing this, but I feel that he is, but I do not believe that a man should be stepping on his wife. So there's a lot of tolerance here. It's like an accepted part of the fiber of where I live right now. And in America, it's kind of like not like that. You find some women who will say the same thing, but it's kind of not like that, because it's hell and damnation if you get caught, no matter how she's treating you or not. I don't care about being a side chick. I'm your wife or whatever. I don't care if I ain't been giving you none. But I'm not trying to paint them as being ignorant. I'm just saying that they ain't going for it. They ain't going for it. But at home, the female energy, the sanctity of your home, not just merely sex, but the beauty of a woman, that will keep a man coming back. Of course, if you cook and it's the meals, he's got to do a lot of things to serve you back. Of course, that's not what we're talking about here. Don't jump me for not touching on it in an even way, because this is about side chicks. But what can we learn from this to strengthen your role at home? A smart woman, a smart wife will look at it that way. Some women will say, I don't have to go and follow behind a side chick to keep my husband. I'm a wife. But there's situations out here, like I said, that you can learn from, right? A lot of things I can say. But if you're home and you're walking around scantily clad, he's going to love that. I'm going to say it this way. Hey, walk around with a titty hanging out. It's a beautiful thing. Oh, man. He knows what it looks like. He's dealt with it, put his mouth on it, whatever, but just shock him sometime. You know what I mean? That's a tease. Put it back in and damn, why'd she do that? That'll mess with him. That'll give him a jump. You know, surprise him with certain acts. I'm not going to get lewd here. You know what I mean? If you do that, just out of nowhere, surprise him. Just because. Let him feel that certain things are unexpected, out of nowhere. But the ego, the appreciation, the celebration, right? That will jumpstart something in him also. And you're not doing this because you're scared that he's with some other woman and you're trying to compete with the other woman. The wife should never have to compete with the outside woman, but there's an outside woman. And if he's dealing, there's reasons why. And this doesn't fit every situation, because some men are just dogs. I'm not talking about the dog situation. You do everything right at home and he's still running crazy. I'm not, let me make that disclaimer, right? But for that good man, right, that you may see him, what is this jumping? Am I getting a message here? Yes, brother man is here. And I'm going to cut this short and continue back with this video, right? But let me call him. He should be at my front gate. Yeah, he's at the front. I gotta run, y'all. Maybe it'll end right here. Maybe it's a perfect way to end it. Anyway, unless I come back. Yes, brother, I'm coming to the door. Yeah, okay. I'm coming. Okay. On that note, that worked out perfect. I have a lot more I want to say. I'll probably come back with a part 2. But that being said, salute to my brothers. Much love to my sisters. That worked out fine. Maybe I should come back and do a part 2. There's a lot more I have to say, but I have somebody at my front gate. I have to unlock the gate to let them in. Let me get my keys and I will talk to you. Thank you for your time. Much appreciation. Leave some comments. Take it in directions where I can do other videos on this topic and we can segue into other things. All right. Much love to you all. Peace.